Hey everyone, it's Tiffany from Let's Get Scrappy, and I have a tutorial for you. This is doing my Tea Party / Bridgerton album, just Bridgerton for myself. But it's for my daughter's best friend. Her bridal shower was a tea party, themed party. And I thought this new collection from Country Craft Creations, which is Tea for Two, was perfect for this. So definitely go check out the walkthrough, but we're going to go ahead and get started with the tutorial, and hopefully I remembered how I did it. I do these and then it takes a minute to come back, so we'll see. Okay, so first for the cover, you're going to need 2 pieces of chipboard that are 6 by 8. And sorry, the sun is shining through. It will be gone in a minute, I'm sure. So 2 pieces that are 6 by 8. And then for the spine, it is 1 by 8 inches. So 1 inch by 8 inches. So 2 of those. I already wrapped one, so we're going to wrap the other 2 together. And we will need, for the big piece, we need 2 that are 8 by 10. So 2 pieces of cardstock that are 8 by 10 inches. And then to cover the spine, you need a piece that is 4 by 10. So it will go on like so. And then to cover the inside, once we put it together, I have a piece that is 6 by 7 7/8, but I always say if you had like a piece that was 5 inches, you could put that on there, 5 by 7 7/8. Typically, you just want it bigger than the width of whatever this piece is. But even if it's the same, it still works, so just saying. But this is what I used because I had this on my table. So 6 by 7 7/8. And then the hinge is 2 1/8, and then a little bit less than 7 1/2. I like mine a little bit smaller than the actual page. But you could still do 7 1/2. You just want to dry fit it really good. And then we're going to score. And we're going to score it 1/2, 7/8. Then 1 1/4, and 1 5/8. So it's a little bit different way of doing the actual hinge. I'm doing it just where we have just like one piece that gets glued down, and then we have some extra hinges. Now, if you want yours thicker than this, you can double up on everything. You could even do like right here. So your first score could be what is that? That is something. Trying to think. 7/8. Yes. Oh my gosh, what a loser. The first score would be 7/8 of an inch, and then you would do another 7/8 of an inch, then your 3/8 in between. But for now, just go ahead and stick to what I'm doing if you're not an advanced scrapbooker, mini album maker, etc. It's just some options if you want to do yours different. For me, this will still hold up because I mat my pieces. So mine is nice and sturdy no matter what. So I don't think it's necessary to have that extra cardstock. But that's how we're doing it today. So let's just go ahead and wrap the cover first, and then we'll come back with the cuts for the rest of the book. Excuse me. So taking that one piece here, because I've already done the other one, all you do is you could glue or use your score tape. I like score tape, and I usually do score tape sheets. And again, I'm looking for my little pokey tool. I do score tape sheets, and this is just like the scraps from them. So that way I don't waste any. But you can do glue if you want to. I don't know, I like score tape on my covers. I like everything nice and smooth, no air bubbles, etc. I'm just going to put just a little bit in there. Now, when doing the covers, if you aren't used to it, we just leave an inch border so you can use your spacers, which I will try to remember to link from Country Craft Creations. I just do a score. I score my cardstock just 1 inch on one side, 1 inch on the other, and that gives me a guide. That's just, I don't know, I've always done it like that, and it's just nice and easy for me. Hold on a second. And this is for inking, stamping, but I like these for this. I think it's for stamping, but I like it for making mini albums. Okay, so I do want to show you real quick like what the spacers look like. And here we go. So you can use your spacers like this. They go on like that, and then you just put your chipboard up in there. It's just more work for me. I just eyeball things, stick them down, or I do my little 1 inch, stick it down. It gets wrapped, so it doesn't really matter. Just saying. Okay, so let's get some score tape, and we will get those on there. I'm going to do my 1/4 inch score tape this time. And again, this is a preference, so you can use score tape or you can use wet adhesive. If you're advanced and don't care about any of this, go ahead and fast forward. I need to get back to, I used to just link how to do a cover, so we didn't have to use up, time doing this project for this part, but I think you guys mentioned you guys actually like it still put in there. I don't remember. At this point, I'm just yapping. It has been a crazy I don't even know. Where does time go? I can't believe it is like the middle of June already. That is insane to me. And I've got nothing done that I said I would get done. I mean, I can't say nothing, but I just thought my to-do list for this year would have been, smash. But, the leak happened, dealing with construction people happened, then my husband, which he's doing great. Thank you, everyone, for all the warm wishes, thoughts, and prayers. He's doing awesome. But I did last week have to, deal with his procedure. And let me just say real quick, go ahead and I cut through, but if you have a mitering tool, you can use it at this point, or you can cut out the corners, the 4 corners. I just do mine and leave about 1/8 of an inch. It doesn't matter if it's perfect because it gets covered up with paper. So I'm not going to lie. It does bother me a little bit. I'll show you. When these aren't lined up just for a second, but it gets covered up. But yes, you can get out all those fancy tools because there are plenty to have it be perfection. But I'm not that housewife type person. Don't get me wrong. I took care of him. I waited on him hand and foot. I brought him food because he was supposed to stay. Okay, well, this is the kicker. He was supposed to stay in bed. And I'm just bending the paper so that it really loosens up the fibers. So I do it both ways. But he was supposed to be in bed for 2 days. So, first day, day 1, he went upstairs. And I had Wednesday, just because I'm a freak like that, I scrubbed down the room, everything. There was not a speck of dust, nothing. I mean, the bedroom is just like spotless. Did all the bedding, everything, because, you know, it had to be sterile and clean, blah, blah, blah. And then first day, so I had to bring up an ice pack like to him, and I had my ice packs ready. You know, I'm prepared. So I brought them up like basically every hour, new ice pack, changed it out, put it in, blah, blah, blah. Ooh, yeah, that's not my jam. But I did it. I cooked him his food, because if you don't know, my husband is very healthy for the most part. He does like food, but for the most part, he's healthy and cooks healthy meals for himself, and I cook my own food. Or I just go get my own food. But, oh my gosh, I made sure he wanted my chicken stir fry that I do with brown rice, so I made lots of that for him, all that good stuff. First day, no problem, everything. The first night kind of was like, ugh, because I set my alarm for every hour. I wanted to make sure he wasn't in any pain. And, you know, if I needed to change ice, which he was sound asleep, knocked out, I was the one who kept getting up, panicking, and, you know, checking, but he didn't need any ice packs. All we're doing is just now wrapping the book. And make sure that you burnish anything that you stick down. Give it a good burnish. And I'm just going to stick this because I lifted up the cardboard and the tape. Okay. So the next day, day 2, I'm in the craft room. I'm like, okay, let me start to craft. Because at this point, this was Friday now, I hadn't really done any crafting except I think I might have finished a project for a retreat that's in like September. I can't remember, but I think that's the only thing I got done at the beginning of that week. And I'm just like taking this stuff all up. And I'm in my room, I have my door open, and all of a sudden I hear something in the kitchen. I was like, no, he did not come downstairs, because, you know, we have a 2-story house. He's in the kitchen making his oatmeal. Now, the only plus side was that my kitchen was going to stay clean. Not one speck on the counter, nothing, because he had to stay upstairs. If you don't know, like, I refuse to clean our kitchen because, I mean, like, and when I say that, like, daily, I would have to do it because remember I said he cooks his own stuff. He puts stuff on every counter, leaves crumbs, like he'll chop up broccoli and chop it up on the granite counters and then leave the broccoli crumbs and just walk away. And every counter, I'm not kidding, every counter. So I heard him, I ran out there. I know I'm digressing as usual. You guys, if you're new to my channel, my tutorials are 5 hours long because I decide to talk when normally in a regular world, I don't say anything. But on these, I blab all the time. But he was in the kitchen making his oatmeal when he's not supposed to, and I come out and he got every counter. I'm not joking, you guys. Every counter, like what he pulled out from the fridge, he put it on the counter right there by the fridge. And so I saw some like wet spots. And then he, over by the sink counter, did his, bananas. Chopped up his banana. Then over by the stove part of the counter, had chia seeds, had his little walnuts he like breaks up and puts in his oatmeal. Every counter, every surface had something on it. And I was just like, go back upstairs. I was so mad. It's like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I want oatmeal. I said, I would make it for you. What are you doing? Okay, so that was the first time. Then, that afternoon, I go to pick up my niece. This is still Friday. I go to pick up my niece from school. And come back home. I went and got him food because he wanted some good food, he said. I went and got him food, came back. His butt is now on the couch. On the couch. He's like, I can't do it anymore. I can't be upstairs in the room. I don't like it. I can't do it. And again, it's not like, I mean, we have TV up there. We have everything. Nope. He is now on the couch. It's a mess. I'm just like, oh, I tried. So I told him, I said, look, if something goes wrong, you're on your own. You are not supposed to be out and about, moving around, and here you are sneaking when every time I like not watching you, you sneak and do something you're not supposed to, and he just starts laughing. He just thinks it's hilarious. I was not feeling it. But I am going to say, fine. I'm glad, because I don't want to do your cooking and getting you stuff. No, not me. I've always said I've always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom with no kids at the house and no husband at the house. That's my vibe. That's the kind I like. And at least now, you know, we're empty nesters. We have no kids, so it's awesome. And if you don't know, I am not working. I had decided, I don't know if I'll ever go back to work, like work. But I for sure was taking this year off, no matter what, because if you guys really knew like how much I worked, I was a full force workaholic, crazy, nonstop, basically worked like 2 jobs, you know, when you calculate the hours and everything every week. That's pretty much what it equated to. But just make sure you burnished everything really good. I know I talked all the way through that, but doing the covers is pretty easy once you get used to it. But yeah, so I was exhausted after all that, and 2, I couldn't get anything else done. Just cleaning, washing stuff. Nope, didn't like it. Did not like it. More power to all of you that can do it. I'm good. But, you know, at the end of the day, he is doing great. What is that? And, what's on there? Backwards, that's weird. Sorry, I gotta get this weird little piece off. It's like going the other way. Hey! And now, like, he wasn't supposed to drive, and he did pretty good with that. Okay, let's bet. So it has been, let's see, I don't even know now, 4 days, 5 days. So he is not supposed to go to the gym for 2 weeks. It is killing him. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't like it. I don't know. I feel like by next weekend, he's going to do it. I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm just putting this spine on. I'm not even telling you guys what I'm doing. This is just a terrible tutorial. But putting the spine piece on, rule of thumb is that you have 1 inch up at the top and bottom, and then 1.5 on the wings. So I always do, if my spine is 1 inch, I just times that by 3. So that's how I decide what the width of my cardstock will be, which is 4 inches. But again, I've said this before, I've had shorter pieces than the norm, and it still works. I've been crooked before, and it still works. So you can just figure out, you just got to do these often and figure out like what style you like. I haven't figured mine out yet, but this is the lay flat method, Tamara's lay flat method from Country Craft Creations. And I think all of us kind of do it a little different. And that's the beauty of all of this crafting, is you do what you like. I haven't found what I like yet, and that's why I change mine every 5 seconds. I do. I'm always doing it different because I'm always testing, okay, what is going to be the one thing that doesn't like crack your cardstock, which artisan cardstock doesn't crack a whole lot, but for me it still cracks. And I do put it to that it's mostly because of like overlapping paper where there's score tape. That's the only thing I could think of, but that's just, you know, how it is. So on this one, I mitered the corners where we folded everything, and it is good just to go back and forth. So fold it one way, fold it back the other way, which feels weird. It's kind of like I don't know, bending your fingernails backwards, just not natural. But you want to really get that cardstock flexible. And I am sorry about, you can see the sun is shifting that way. Give it just a minute and it'll be done. So we're just going to put some glue here. On Tamra's, she cuts out the corner so there's no bulk. But I can't, I don't like seeing the chipboard. And normally, in my stash, I have black chipboard that I can use. I just didn't use it on this one. And Country Craft Creations does have some black chipboard. So I don't know why I didn't use it for this project to show you. But in the actual, so I want to make sure this is good. The actual mini album, I used Kraft instead of black. But for my next one, I wanted to make sure, again, I'm just kind of working where the paper is overlapping. I don't want to have another Kraft one. I'm going to want a different color, and you guys know me, most of the time I like black anyways. I don't know why. For the most part, it is black, white, Kraft. I rarely do a color. Every once in a while, I will do like a gray, or I'm going to be starting a wedding album with a navy, I think. I got the navy. It's navy artisan cardstock. In the collection I'm using, if you didn't see the haul that I did from Country Craft Creations about a month ago, it is paper rose. There, I think it's called Wedding Blooms. It's so pretty and it's different. So I cannot wait to make another wedding album. I have one of my top viewed videos is a wedding album that has been kind of converted. I've done the wedding with it. I've done baby just with a couple tweaks, but it is one of my top viewed albums. So I'm just coming in, I'm just mitering a little bit. I just put my scissors to the edge of that chipboard, miter down a little bit. If you want more, you can. I just, see if you guys can see in the sun. And now my dog is drinking very loudly her water. But that is what this looks like. So just going to come in here. I just like the covers. I like there to be like crisp edges. Your cover really should be kind of like, you know, just neat and tidy as much as it can. Okay. Let me clean this up a little bit. Now for attaching, I've shown this before, but how I do mine, there's a lot of different ways. I put my score tape here and then glue and then attach it like this. I'll show you, as I always do, how you can put it in your scoreboard. So I just leave about 1/8 of an inch, and the reason why I do this, if you're new to my channel, I don't like seeing glue seep out once the book is put together. And I know everyone says, but it dries clear, but you guys know what I say. I still see that shine. It might be clear, but I can see it. And I don't like it. I don't want to see any adhesive. Sometimes I've gotten too close and I've seen the score tape adhesive, and that drives me crazy too. And if that happens, you just roll with it. Don't even mess with it. But I do like doing score tape and glue, because with the score tape you get that instant stick versus having to wait for the glue to dry. But I put them in my hands. I don't press anything down yet. I'm getting everything lined up. I'm together here, just making sure I'm together there. And now I'm going to give it a press. Looks pretty good. And most important thing with doing covers is that burnishing part, which is this. Just burnish that baby down. And if you're using glue, especially art glitter glue, because it dries so fast, which is awesome, you want to hurry up and get it burnished. Otherwise, you're going to hear that snap, crackle, pop. Which again, if you do, it doesn't matter. It's just irritating at first. When you are, you know, doing that, burnishing it. Okay, so we're there. And yes, I have just a small little tiny crack right there. It is barely anything, but I don't want to chance it, so you guys can't even see it because it's so little. But when I get it, I just put a little bead. I do that, and then I wrap it back around. Just glue that baby back down. Okay, now this side. What are we doing, Tiffany? Score tape. Okay, and this is where I said I'll show you in the scoreboard. And I haven't done this way in a long time. And I do think that is what gets, whoa! That was a very squeaky bark, Shug. That's what gets the cracking, is the overlapping of the cardstock, because it's always where it I'm just telling you, it's always where it overlaps. I've almost like figured it out, and that's why if you cut out the corners, that probably is better. I really can't stand seeing the chipboard though. It doesn't look finished to me, and I don't like it. And if you do see it, because if you cut out those corners, I've also shown you how to just take that marker and color that chipboard black if you don't have black chipboard. So the other way to do this, which helps people if you're, you know, need help, you know, lining things up versus being able to push it together, is they go in and put it in like this, and I'm trying to think which would be better. No, I'll do it this way. By pushing this to the top, have it on, and then getting that where you want it and doing it like that. So that is an option, but I like to fold mine. And this glue is going to be snap, crackle, pop by now. Especially because it's hot out, hot in here. This week is going to be a scorcher for everyone. It will be for me too, even though I live in Washington. Because anything over like 75, oh my gosh. It's weird. My husband doesn't understand it because in the house, I always have like a space heater on, and he says it's like 90 degrees. But if it's, I'm not joking, over 70 outside and the sun is blaring, I can't handle it. The heat is different. I'm just saying, it's different heat. Okay. So let's see, that is good. And I did get a little messy with my glue. Okay, so there is our cover, like so. Now we are gonna start building the pages. So I'm gonna give you guys the measurements of everything to cut, so you can cut everything right now. And if it's easier to just write them down, you could do that. Oh, to cover the inside, we forgot to do this piece here. So here is the piece that we are going to use to cover in here. But I am going to, let's see what I want to do. Let's do, I could get, nope, I'm not going to do a square sheet. kind of went too far down. So you could do wet glue on the back of this piece of paper, this cardstock. You can do score tape on the entire back. All that is most important is that around the spine you have it totally sealed. You don't want any bubbling of any kind. So right now I'm just making sure. I'm going to do a tape glue combo. Just needs to be nice and sticky. So I'm going to peel this up, but I'm going to put the glue on the back of our cardstock. And I usually do score tape all the way on this because I don't like seeing any type of lines of glue, any of the squiggles, anything. Not to say that that can always happen, but it does happen sometimes. And I don't like it. Again, most of this will be covered up, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But I know for sure right here, I need a good hold. Good hold. Okay. And just center that. Stick it down. Burnish those edges, the outside edges first. Now around the spine. Get it nice and stuck. Okay. And I'm just kind of bending these, but mostly trying to get that glue in there before it dries. When you do that part, don't press so hard, just following the edge. You don't want to rip through your paper. That would not be good. Glue everywhere. And again, I'm just checking, make sure everything is nice and tight and burnished. Okay, now let's get to our pages. Pages. Okay, so for the left inside cover, so for this side here, this is what we're going to use. We will need one piece that is 6.5 by 8, and with the 6.5 across the top of your scoreboard, we are going to score at a 1/2 inch and then 3/4 of an inch. And then this is still on the left inside of the cover. This is going to be the right flap. It is 5 5/8 by 8 inches, and we're going to score at a 1/2 inch on the 5 5/8 side. This is a smaller flap that gets attached to this one once it's in. This is 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. I can't tell if you guys can actually see that, so hold on. So we're going to score at a 1/2 inch on the 4 3/4 side. We have a photo mat in our pocket that is built from scrap paper, and that is 5 by 7. And why did I say score? Don't score. I think I just mixed up those. Let me see. Nope, nope, nope. Don't do that. No scoring. Where is my pen? I think I wrote that twice because we do have a piece that is that. But this is just a photo mat, 5 by 7. Nice and easy. And then we have a little booklet inside that pocket that is 6.5 wide by 4.5. And across the 6.5, we're going to score at 3¼ of an inch. Okay. This really is easy to put together. Now the 2 pages are like, you know, basically 1-page wonders. One of them I decided to cut it down a little bit, but this is our first signature slash page, but it is 11.5 inches, or 11 inches by 10.5. And in the scoreboard, well, we'll do that together. You'll see what we do. And then this one is 12 by 12. And this is all the scoring, but it is actually better to see when you get to the white. I just did a white diagram so it was easier for you guys to see. We first in the scoreboard score at 7.5 inches, then we turn it, score at 5.5, and then at 11 down to that first score line, and then I flip it and at 10.5 to the next score line. So that is what all this mumbo jumbo right there means. But it's better just to watch it in video. Okay. And then we will need the front of the first signature page, whatever you want to call it. Basically has nothing on it. We are going to add this to the back. It's a photo mat, 4¼ by 6¼ I always do my larger cuts first, then I come back to see what scraps I have left to see if I can get my smaller cuts. And then the back, we have 1 flap of the first signature, that is the 5 by 7 with the 7 across. We're going to score at 1/2 inch. For the second signature, this looks like a lot, but it's not. Okay, where are we at? So the second signature looks like, oh, all this inking I got on there is this one here. All that goes on that, because once it's folded up, all you need for the front is a 3¼ by 4¼ photo mat. That's this little piece here. And then we're going to turn it, and this is what we're going to put together. So you'll need a piece that is 5.5 by 4 1/8, and then we're going to score that at 2 3/4. Another piece that is 5 by 5.5, and on the 5 side we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Another flap that is 5.5 by 7.5, and we're going to score a 1/2 inch on that 5.5 side. And then there is another 4¼ by 6¼ photo mat inside all of that. And then here in the pocket, we just have a photo mat that is 5 by 7. If you want yours bigger to actually put a true 5 by 7 photo on there, you can, which will be like 5 1/8 by 7 1/8 or 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, depending upon if you match yours, if you like a bigger border, etc. And then this little booklet here is 3 1/4 by 8.5. And then we score on the 8.5 at 4 1/4. And I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my goodness. I think I sneezed on my last video too. Okay. I feel like that is casting a shadow. So let's go ahead, and we still will need to do our hinge together. I'm trying to think what we want to do. Let's do the inside cover first. So we are going to, let me get my little scoreboard. And we are going to score that at a 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch. And then fold that first line, burnish, fold on that second line, burnish. Just always make sure that is nice and crisp. as far as your fold, so it should look like that. And we will put these in just a second. Your second piece is the right flap, so 5 5/8 across the top. We're going to score at a 1/2 inch. And we will fold that. I'm just, you know, folding up in the air. And we will miter these corners. Tiffany, ignore this. Why can't I just ignore it? Just let it stay in there. Ah. Issues. Okay. And then our next little flap, we score that 1/2 inch. And our little booklet. Just make sure it is even. Sometimes our scoring and cutters is all off. So you just want to kind of double check that. Okay, so let's put this in. Okay, so let's miter these corners. You don't have to miter the corners. If you forget, it's okay. It just helps to not see where a seam is. It kind of just makes it seamless, your project. So we're mitering the corners up to that first score line, not this second one. Okay, now in our little book, let's do a little dry fit first, because again, sometimes our scoring and cutting can be off. This is, just trying to see. Need another light on here. Let me see if this will work. Ooh, that worked. I'm just making sure it's not off. And if I left it just like this, can I close my book okay? Yes. You just want to make sure it doesn't impede on that. So I like to do a dry test as much as possible, as much as we can remember. I'm just adding some glue to our hinge. Just on the first one, you still have that second one. Oh, it's gonna, when you open it up anyways, it'll be shorter. I don't know why I did that. I'll show you guys what I mean in just a second. But get that on there before you totally burnish. Just make sure you can't see. You're nice and flush. You're nice and flush with the edge. Now come in and give that a really good burnish. It is extremely important to burnish. And that, you know, just has to be one of the crafting drinking games. Whether it is drinking coffee, juice, water, I don't drink alcohol. I tell everyone I don't need to. I'm crazy already. So there you go. But that's why we say it so much, because it is that important that you really burnish and make sure the adhesive sticks to both sides. Okay, now we have our right side, which I don't want to see the writing upside down because it'll give me a heart attack. Again, I am just checking it all out. Say we stuck this on and you were over the edge, you could still trim it. So again, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm just kind of checking where I'm lined up. Okay, so I'm going to come in a little bit away from this gusset right there. It's just very important that all your projects fold up nicely. Every once in a while, you know, I have something where I didn't check and it's not the best. I still use it and I still make it work. But I would have preferred if it was done properly. So that's why we do dry fits. Okay, that's a good matchup. Now burnish that baby. Just at the end of the day, you do not want your book to fall apart if you gift it to somebody. So it's very important that you have good adhesive. And I'm just going to, where is my little eraser? Get that little chunk off that no one else can see, just I can see, but I could see it and I don't like it. Okay, now this piece is going to go on top of this one. So let me just grab this here so we can see what we're doing, but it is just going to get stuck to the edge of this here. So we have our hinge. We're going to put some glue on that. And most of this project, it was the beautiful paper that made it. I just thought this paper was so pretty, and it was perfect timing for this bridal shower and for Bridgerton. And no, I don't have some sponsorship with Bridgerton. I just like it. And now everybody is doing it. Not because I'm always talking about it, but it's just everywhere. I think I saw Michael's has Bridgerton collection. Target, maybe? Was it Target? People are doing Bridgerton craft things now. Okay, so we have that. Then I did punch the corners of my photo mats. You don't have to, but I just used a paper punch, which I will put in the description box if you do not have one. But these, so here's a little booklet, will go when we do this pocket when you decorate. So let me just show you on the decorating. I'm pretty sure I just like burped on the camera. Sorry. Oh my god, I was like, was that a burp? What was that? I don't know. But I have issues. Okay, so when you go to decorate, because I'm not showing obviously the paper in this one because I've already done the project, and I like to have 1/8 of an inch border. So it depends upon what you like. If you're someone who does not do good with these tiny little edges and you feel it's always crooked, then go 1/4 of an inch. All that means is if my paper, which like this one here, when it's folded up, is 5 inches. So my craft cardstock is 5 inches. My next, whether it's the pattern paper or a solid, so I did a solid, my next piece would be at 4 7/8. This is by 8, so then it would be by 7 7/8. Then the pattern paper, I'd go less 1/8 of an inch again, would be 4 3/4 by 7 3/4. So that's how I do it. Now here, I just took the border strip from the 12 by 12 piece and cut that. I did add a little strip of gold foiling to it and then glued it on 3 sides. So that's all I did for a little tuck spot to put these in there. So that's all you need to do is find a little scrap piece that you like. If you want it, you don't even have to have it. You could do it on here, you could do it here. Totally up to you to have fun with it because it's your book. Do what you want. Do what you want. But for now, we have the left side done. Now we need to, and I'm going to find a paper clip. Let's see. Okay, so now we have our hinge that we need to do. So let's set this aside again. I need to clean up a little bit. Hold, please. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so our hinge piece that was 2 1/8 by 7 1/2 on the 2 1/8 side. And it's a weird number because I'm doing 3/8 of an inch instead of like the even quarter or half. But we do a 1/2 inch first, then 7/8, which is all the one right before the 1 inch, and then 1 1/4. The next is 1 5/8, just like that. Okay. Ooh, battery's getting low. Okay. So let's fold on that first line. Fold, and then we're going to fold back the other way. Like so. So right now it looks like, let me try, I got some shadow in here. It looks like that. Now this next, can you guys see? Not really. This next score line here, you're going to fold onto itself. Like so. And then this last one folds out. I mean, it doesn't really matter because you're going to be turning a page anyways. And again, it is best to kind of work the whole thing and go back and forth. But as of right now, we look like this. This is not a good view. Ugh, the shadowing is really bad. Nope. Yep. Nope. But you see, good. Can you guys see? but really, can you see? I don't know. Try. Nope, that did nothing. Okay. But that's what it looks like. So again, it doesn't really matter because your page is going to be going back and forth. So you can take these two outer ones and just keep, you know, folding until it's really loose. So it's nice and good. Don't score too hard when you guys score these. You do not want any type of holes on these. But here, this is our little hinge, just right here. That is what we're going to put on our book. But we're going to dry fit it first. Yep, got plenty of room. I'm going to miter these corners just to the first score line. And I do just a little bit. I don't like a big miter because I want something still to stick to the page. Some people don't do a miter at all. And that's okay. So now let's add some glue to the middle. We're doing it to the back of the middle section. Oops. And you do want to have a good amount of glue on here if you're using wet glue. But you want it kind of even. I hate it spooging out on the sides. I don't like it. Now, I'm going to put this down knowing I don't have any decorative paper there, but you're going to want to put decorative paper down first. Oops. Hold on. Now, hopefully you guys can still hear me. I don't know. We'll soon find out. Okay, so before I stick it all the way down, I'm kind of checking that I have the same distance. I have about the same. So good enough. If you're someone, again, who likes perfection, you can mark everything. And that works too. Give it a good burnish and let it set up. Okay. Now, set that aside for a second. Let's grab our first page. No, we'll do the first page. Okay, so we have these scored at, let's see, I have a 10 1/2 across, or 11 across the top. And we're going to score at 5 1/2. and then turn with the 10.5, score at 7.5. Now we are going to come in and we are going to cut this one off. So this one, let me just make sure. No, we're going to cut this one off. I have to double check. Yes. You can keep it on if you want a dual pocket. But I just decided I wanted to show a picture of the actual bride at her bachelor shower right there, so I wanted the pocket off. Otherwise, I probably would have left it, and I need to see where my bumps are. So I'm just cutting just on the inside of where the bump mountain part is of the score. And we will cut that. Now go ahead and fold this down the middle. Again, make sure you're lined up with a good score. And then sometimes our paper is crooked. There we go. And then fold this up on the back. But I do want to make sure, okay, I have it nice and even, so I'm going to have to trim off a little bit from the bottom of where I didn't have an even cut from that other pocket. Just be careful not to cut your fold of this pocket. Okay, so that is now our first page. Let me take that off. Have just like a little nubbin. There we go. Okay, so this is our first page. Looks like that there. We will glue two sides up to have a pocket. Set that aside. And let me grab my tape counter. Okay, let's just, because you want to put your pattern paper down first on the back. So I'm just doing a temporary hold, like so. And then we have a piece, there it is, here. So this is the 5x7 where we scored with the 7 across, we scored a 1/2 inch. Let's miter the corners of that. I almost forgot, I thought we were done. I was like, oh, we're done, let's move on. And I did round the corners down here. You don't have to. Sometimes I just go with the flow. Sometimes I'll round the corners. I'll make the same project and then have it all straight. Just depends upon the paper. Again, you know, just how you're feeling about your project. And I am just eyeballing this. If you want it exact, go ahead and do some tick marks with your ruler and pencil. But I'm just centering it in between the page and then a good burnish. Like so. Then what I do, I didn't do on the inside cover either, but I had magnets in here. So I just do an M for a magnet, an M for a magnet to tell me, remember, put a magnet on before you glue everything down. And do you think that helps all the time? No. I've ignored it plenty of times. Our 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 photo mat goes right inside that pocket. There you go. That is the first signature. Now on to number 2. And this is where I want to show you guys on the white. I already have it done on the black, but I want to show you on the white. This is a 12 by 12. Let's see if I can get it all in there. Most of it. There we go. And really hope you guys can still hear me. It's going to be bad if you can't. But what we want to do first is score at 7.5. It just makes it easier. So 7.5. Turn your page with the 7.5, you know, half up here. And then do 5.5 all the way down. And I want you guys to be able to see the measurements. And then 11 just down to this first score line, like that. Then flip this way at 10.5 to the score line. You're going to do another one like so. And you'll see why in a second. It was just easier to show you how to do it that way. But what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and maybe I'll show on the white. Let's do it on the white. So you will go through and cut just right through here. Just one cut to that 5.5 score. That's it. I'll show you guys on here how to fold it up. So this is going to fold this way. Then this one goes that way. This is just like a scratch, not a scratch, but a cheapy piece of white cardstock. And then this one folds up. If you have to rewind, that's okay. That's what it's there for. This one folds over, like so. And the reason why I did this pocket, or this score a little different, because I wanted there to be a little spot to grab this instead of totally even. So that goes back. And so it opens, you have a photo mat in there, opens this way. Magnet opens this way, like so. Flip it over, and then this will be a pocket. So let's do the black one together. Just one cut straight through, and you might have to even up your cut if you don't use a trimmer. Once you get it folded, you can just double check. So we just went to that 5.5, and then remember this one comes back. Like so. This one over. Like so. This one up. I just need to turn it so I can see a little bit better. There we go. Now this one over. And this one back. Oh my goodness, the glue is killing me. And burnish all those edges really nice. So it looks like this. So you have your opening. This is going to be a pocket. All that good stuff. So I'm going to mark magnet, magnet. Then I did magnet here and a magnet on this one. You do not have to do magnets if you don't want to. Okay, so before you glue this down, you have to put pattern paper in, but before you do that, we have to put all of our other flaps on. So let's grab those. And we are almost there. So we have the big flap that will be on the left. That is 5.5 by 7.5. We're going to score 1/2 inch on that 5.5. Then the next piece, score 1/2 inch on the 5. Then the little bitty, which you don't have to do this, I just did it for the cut apart. 5.5 across the top, score at 2 3/4. And then everything else is just photo mats. So this goes into the front of our little ditty like so. We're going to flip this around. Let's do some mitering real quick. Miter. Miter. Okay, so let's glue this one on. Hopefully my glue still, oh, yep, still comes out. Didn't have a pin in it. And we're going to glue this to this side. I like to pick mine up. It's hard to see with the black, but just kind of before I push it all the way in, you can see the glue coming out. I like to make sure I'm lined up here, so I'm filling this at the same time. And I'm lined up at the bottom, and then nothing coming across there. So let's come in here and give it a good, what, people? Burnish. I know, I'm so annoying. I did have some coffee before. Oh, I hate coffee. But I really just, I try to do it so I don't have Red Bull, because I would much rather have some Red Bull. Okay, and then this one, which may, let's just flip it so I don't have to see it. So you have this one that you're now going to put, let's put a little wet piece under here so you can kind of see. That is going to get attached to the edge of this one here. I'm telling you guys, just this is nice and easy. Quick project unless you're like me and can't ever decide on what papers you want where. I'm not kidding. One of these days, I'm going to just force myself to grab a collection and say whatever piece I grab has to go down. It will be pure, I'm dying as I'm saying it. It will be pure torture as I'm doing it. But I see people doing it and they say the collections all work together. It's a collection. So any choice should be fine. But oh my gosh, sometimes I can't do it. I just can't. I'm a freak about the paper. Then take your little baby, fold it in half. And I'm just going to use my little, I love this thing. It's the best ever. And just kind of put that there. I did put tabs on here. I have a magnet here, magnet here, magnet here, and here. And then I don't even think I did one here. I just did wherever there was one on the back. I think of like this one. Then I, clinked it to there. But, oh, terrible handwriting, Tiffany. I did do magnets in here. And let's just close this little baby up. Like that. And our photo mat goes in there. What else are we missing? Well, this is our front photo mat. So all goes like that. Ooh, battery's getting low. And I took away my long charger, so hold on one sec. I'm gonna have to grab it. Okay, but we do have that. This is going in the back. And stop that. And then we will have this one, which we will fold just right in the middle. This is our little booklet. This will go in the back of the book. And hold tight. Yes, I have to run away as usual to get a different charger. I forgot that I took my long charger up to my husband's room. Okay, let's see if we can get this to work. There we go. I did it so he didn't have to get up to get to his phone because he has a small charger which doesn't reach, so I don't know why he has that. But yeah, it's all good. You guys are used to me walking away from the video. Yes, alrighty. Okay, so let's go ahead. We are going to start with our, I don't want to do this. Let me just, I'm going to, okay, I'll do it like that. And then so you do have to close up your bottom, which I always forget. I am terrible at that. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. I don't think I will. So hold on a second. I always forget to glue my bottom, and on this book I forgot to put in a photo mat in the top. So you have the top portion. Let me show you. Let's see, did I forget to glue the bottom? Because sometimes I do. Yes, I did. On one of them there. Let's see the other one. You know, it is what it is. You don't have to glue the bottom or the top if you don't put something in it. But there is a spot for a photo mat in there. I always, if I don't have like an actual like hinge, I forget to glue it. It's so weird. But now what I did is I did one side first. So we're going to put adhesive. We're going to see if this works. We're going to see. Again, I don't know. I have no idea what you guys can see right now. We're just going to go with it. I mean, who knows if the sound's even working. Okay, so I'm going to do one side, back side first. But I like to, I did my front side first so I can see, so that's a problem for me because I want to make sure I'm at this edge. So ignore that and do the front side first is easier. Oh my goodness, this is just a horrible thing. What am I doing here? So I'm just going up to that score line. Just getting it nice and straight. Give it a burnish. Okay, I'm going to open this. So normally I do this side first and then I come to the back, but we're going to get it on the hinge, and you guys probably can't see what I'm doing. Let me try to see if I go down a little bit. Let's see if that's better for this part. It's hard to see the black. Okay, well, you guys will see where the glue goes. But I'm going to put some glue on my hinge. Don't go all the way up to that score line with the glue because then it'll seep out. And get this, if you're going to use it as a pocket, again, if you're not going to use it as a pocket, you don't have to close it up. And I try to kind of do like the same, you know, like I'm doing like an 1/8 of an inch here, so on the other one I'll try to do an 1/8 of an inch as well. Okay, I'm going to open this back up so I can give it a good burnish. There we go. Voila. And just kind of crease that back into place, and we are good. Okay, so we have that on there. Now our next page, and we are done. Done there. We're just going to stick all this stuff in place, make it look like it's where it's supposed to be. Okay. Here is our first. So make sure that this flappy do is on the back. If for some reason you put these backwards, that's okay. What isn't okay is upside down. It still will work. It's just going to be different. And what I'm telling you guys, I did my both covers backwards on the wrong sides and upside down. And yes, I had to do surgery. I am licensed in crafting surge. That's all I'm gonna say. My resume is full. Okay, so just a little dry fit. Got a little goober on there. Don't like that. There we go. Okay, so I'm just kind of looking. It matches up with my other page, which is what we want. You wouldn't want one like up like that. I don't know that you guys can even see that, but the whole point is trying to get them somewhat lined up. That's the goal. So I'm holding it down, and I'm going to come in with my glue. And just again, and I just moved it, I saw. That's okay. Oh my goodness gracious, you have issues. Issues, girl. Okay, so come back in, get it where you want it before you press it all the way down. And then we'll do the back side together. There we go. Got that snap, crackle, pop because I wasn't fast enough. Okay, now open it back up. And I'm just going to push this out of the way. We're going to come in. I'm just looking. That was a good fit. And the reason why we have this extra gusset, which I have been doing for, I don't even know now, a couple years now. I don't do it on all my projects. I just do it on some. A lot of my little kind of like folio, I almost put the wrong one. Folio albums. Just to give more room, I'll show you in a sec, when it opens up to lay flatter when you have things on like the insides of your covers. And technically on this one, I probably could have did a 1/2 inch gusset so it laid a little bit better, because on the front inside cover, there's a lot of like bulk. It still works. But if you wanted to do yours a little different, you can, and I'll show you in the main book what I'm talking about, in case you're like, what? But this way, it just gives you a little extra. And I am seeing a lot of people now doing this like extra gusset. Like I said, mine was just by chance doing it because I couldn't open my pages on a project I did. I didn't like the first one, so the second one was like, how do I get it where I can open my pages but have like pockets, you know, and stuff on the sides. Okay, so we are done. There you go. And it opens up like so. I'm just checking everything. Yep. On the back, the pocket is made again with scraps. That's what this will do. So this is it. But let me show you guys again just the main project, what I meant by when this is open. Because I have all of this bulk over here, I could have went a 1/2 inch and it would have laid a little bit flatter minus my flowers. Remember, if you don't want this wobbly, you wouldn't have flowers. But the flowers just make it. I don't care. The flowers are pretty. But if I would have went a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch here, it just would have been a little bit higher. But you got to pay attention because we are already, see how we're almost to the edge. So if I would have did a 1/2 inch, it could have went beyond. It should have been perfect, but it could have went beyond our actual book. So just things to think about. I like to tell you guys how my mind thinks even after I'm done doing a project, what I shoulda, coulda, woulda type of things. But I just thought this turned out so cute, minus all of this boo-boo right there. That I'll have to get my little fancy eraser. It's the gold from over here is going on there. But, you know, it's still cute. And who knows what I'll do with this one, what paper I will use. And maybe a Disney. I've got lots of Disney paper I need to use up. But there you guys go. I hope that you like this project, and hopefully the sound works. If for some reason it didn't, you won't know what I'm saying right now anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Hop on over to Country Craft Creations. Check out Tea for Two. I do have everything linked in the description box, so definitely hop on over there. And thanks for watching. Bye.